get in front of you and I ask you, why are you here? I want to have you have this morning and then lunch to be thinking about your answer. And I keep asking them every year, right? Why are you here? But the first time I ask somebody that, they're almost always surprised by the question. They're like, and I could tell that they'd not really thought through why they're here. They just kind of showed up and they were hoping I could help or we could help, right? And so they'll fumble through the first question and they'll say something, and I'm helping you how to answer this. They'll fumble through the first question. They'll go, I just want to get better, right? And I smile at them always, and I'll say, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I want to get better. And then they'll fumble around a little bit more, and they'll almost always turn, and I know I'm looking at you too for a very specific reason. It'll almost always turn to, I want some more velo. And I'll say, perfect. That makes sense to me. But let me ask you a question before we go any further. I'm just not going to slide past that. How hard do you throw? And they'll say, typically a minor league guy will go, I touch 94, 95. I sit 91, 90, 91, 92, right? And I'll say to them, okay, is the reason... Have you watched a Major League game on TV lately? And they'll go, well, yeah, of course. And I'll say, have you ever seen anybody on the TV throwing it 92, 93 miles an hour and they're on TV? And they'll go, well, yeah. And I'm like, well, why isn't that you? Like, and didn't you just tell me you were that velo? And they're like, yeah. And I go, well, you're not in the major leagues, right? No, I'm in high A. And I'm like, well, think about this for a second. Why are you in high A? If velo was the answer, you're already in the major leagues. Like there's no difference. Now, we should always try to throw harder. I'm all for that. I have guys that throw at 98 miles an hour and looking to throw it harder. That's just innate in all of us. That's a good thing. But the problem for most people is they think, if I can just throw it this, then my problems go away. That's just not true. And you know it's not true. And all of your teams, whoever you root for, even if it's the Rangers, whoever you root for, there's a guy on that club that they put him out in the seventh inning and go, oh no, don't throw Smith. He can't get anybody out. Right? And he's 97, 98, and you're like, oh no, don't go him out. The velo is not the only answer. It's a piece of the puzzle. You know that. But you need me to kind of, I think, remind you of that. We should always try to be gaining velo. But just, the velo is not the answer. It's just kind of like, for the parents in here, it's just kind of like money. Right? If I make $1 million, my problems are going to go away. No, it just change. Your problems just change. They don't go away. They just change. It's the same thing now when we're dealing with your throwing, right? So then they'll go, all right, I will ask them questions. Like, for example, how's your command? The answer almost always is, oh, my command's pretty good. I'm like, oh. So how many do you walk in, let's say, what's your average per 9? And almost always they'll go, oh, I don't know. Like, they don't really know. So in other words, they don't know what their command is. They just know that for the most part, they don't walk the ballpark. Now, here's what I'm going to say to all of you. Here's why command is something that all of you need to always be working on during the week. Every level you go up, the strike zone is going to get smaller, and the hitters are going to get better. If there's not something that keeps you up at night, that will do it, right? So your command, whatever your command is right now, let's say you are the best command of anybody you know. It's still not going to be good enough at AA, right? The most common thing, by the way, I'm not crying because I'm emotional. I have allergies, but some of you are like, man, he gets emotional when he talks about command. No, this is allergies. Here's the deal. AA guys or high school guys going to college, right? Or freshmen going to varsity. It didn't matter. Every time you make that transition, here's what happens. But especially the one that really matters is that one guy go from AA, or single high A to AA. It's just one level up. Man, it's a huge jump. And here's why. Hitters don't get to AA by swinging at curveballs in the dirt. They don't. Here's how you get to AA. Don't swing at curveballs in the dirt. That's how you get to AA. So a guy come in. This is what Trevor Bauer thing, right? Trevor Bauer, high A, punching them all out. He gets to AA. He walks 7. He talks to me and he goes, what's going on? I'm like, they're not going to swing at that. You have to throw it in the zone. Because he'd throw the ball and go, whoa. How come he didn't swing at it? That's how I got to AA. So my comment to you is this. Although we're always working on velo, and we should, we're also always working on command. Always. So when I get in front of you and I ask you, why are you here? I want to have you have this morning and then lunch to be thinking about your answer. Coach, here is really why I'm here.